premiership and got away unscathed, I believe. So how does it feel to sort of have all that completed and now you can look forward to the finals?
Oh, it's terrific. Terrific for the footy club. But it's, we realise the work's, in some ways, well ahead of us in the coming weeks. But you have to take a moment just to reflect. It's a hard enough game as it is, and over a 23-week season to finish where we are is a great effort from a lot of people. It's a terrific effort from our playing group and right across the board, and our staff and the footy club in general, our supporters. So it's just take a moment tonight just to reflect on that before we start looking forward.
But this is the time to reset, I guess, with that 3-win gap that you had for quite a while, and the percentage sort of fed into, I guess, that shaky period over the past couple of months, and now.
Well, if you look at it, it was.
Like the form back, does it feel like?
Yeah. Well, if you look at it, it was the Bulldogs and the Port Adelaide game. The rest of the games we lost by 2 points. So it was sort of just everyone looks at the win-loss ratio, but if you look a little bit deeper, it was those 2 games, and we played 2 average games for the year, which is not too bad in a general scheme of things. And I thought the last few weeks we've been able to find different ways to win, and I've been so pleased with the ability to be able to get into the grind over the previous weeks and do it a different way and find a way, and real hand-to-hand combat in some ways. You've got to dig yourself out, and I think that's a good thing for our players to be able to draw upon. And tonight was a bit different. It was a bit of a higher scoring affair, so we still showed the capacity to be able to do what we needed to do in that environment. So I think that's the last 3 weeks have been very good.
Firstly, just on Isaac, just a bit of precaution, just a bit of management.
Yeah. Look, he's got a bit of a stiff ankle that he manages all the time, but the start of the week it was sort of weighing up. My original thoughts were to play him about 80 minutes and play majority forward. That was my original thoughts, and as the week progressed, those thoughts probably didn't go away. And you've got to be mindful of trying to get the balance right. You can't rest everyone en masse like some people were suggesting. That just doesn't work with a bye next week. There's a bye next week, and so that's the reason it was brought in. You need to keep some game time through your players. He's had a big workload, but he's also fit and he trains so hard and he plays such a competitive game. I was thinking even if he played tonight, trying to keep him out of the action, he couldn't help but be in the action. So I sort of made a call to pull him out, and he should be fine.
I know you said during the week that Chad was pretty close to playing last week. The way he played tonight, he almost looked like he was making up for lost time a bit, lost matches through the middle. Is there a bit of you that goes, don't have to push it so hard, or is that exactly what you want to see?
No, you can't you can't live in that space. I think I said it last week. You can't live in there, and we'll just, you've got to let your players play. And if they're in that moment, which he was tonight, and go, he was terrific. As I said last week, we were very conservative that he missed last week. He was very keen to play, but we gave him the week off. I think it was a good thing for him. It allowed him an extra week to get over things, and then he came out fresh as a daisy tonight, and he was sharp. He was real sharp, and we were able to manage the last quarter, and a couple of our guys that have had reasonable workloads out of the action a little bit, and that's what we wanted to get out of the game.
How far away, or where do you see Happy and McInerney? Are they going to be right for finals, or are you still weighing that up?
They'll see how they go. They've still got a couple of weeks, so it's an important couple of weeks for training with them. They've done various levels of training. McInerney's done a fair bit actually, and Paps has done a bit, and he's due to ramp it up this week. So you see how they go. We're hopeful that they'll be available for that first week. They've certainly done an enormous amount of rehab work. They've been running. They've done various levels of ball work. Juzzy's done a fair bit of it. So hopefully over the next 2 weeks they keep continuing to go the way they are. If they go the way they are, they should be available. So hopefully they're okay.
Every week we ask you about the first quarter. How do you reflect on today's performance?
Terrific. That was good. Jumped out of the blocks. Great. It was. I thought the players were terrific. They sort of had They executed most parts of the game really well. Offence, defence, the contest. I thought we got our repeats going well. they were able to do what we needed to do, and they jumped out of the block with great energy. I mean, to come into the game tonight, and we wanted to make sure we still played well. There was a position on the ladder that we thought was, you put that to one side, and everyone talks about it, but you put it to one side, and you've got to concentrate on your football, and we got that out of tonight. So our football was pretty good, and that was good. So it gives us a couple of weeks to reset and see what happens with a couple of boys coming back in and train and still refine our game, still work on parts of our game that need working on.
Was it part of the plan to have Dane Rampy and Lewis Mallington kicking goals in the opening term?
Yeah, they have shots at goal sometimes at training. I always ask them why they're down there kicking it out, and they said, "Well, you never know," and they were right because they kicked them tonight. So it was good. Yeah, the Ramps, Pell, and the Lizard they hit the scoreboard. So it was good. They were good. It was good to be able to. I think they were pretty happy with themselves kicking goals.
And you must have been pleased with Callum Mills has taken huge steps really to getting back to his best.
Yeah, it was. It's the last couple of weeks he's been good, and it's a big part of the season he's missed, and so for him to come back and still lead really strongly, which he's been able to do, and even when he wasn't playing, he's been fantastic. Assistance to us as coaches, and then he's able to come on the ground and take a few weeks where he was finding his feet with the ball or without the ball, but he was still great leadership abilities, and then being able to play the way he has the last 2 weeks has been good for him.
Caden Cleary's put together a really good block of footy in the last couple of weeks. I mean, he's probably someone we thought was on the fringes of this squad and is really kind of stating a case to stay in the team come finals. What have you made of what he's done in the last
Yeah, we've been pleased with how he's gone. He's it just shows you never know. And I talk to the players about it over the years all the time about you never know. You never know what's around the corner. You got to keep going. You never know. You can't predict it. And his last couple of weeks have been really, really handy. He's been able to put pressure on as a forward. He's been able to go in the midfield. He's got a big tank. He's been able to play his role pretty well.
And just on Matty Roberts, another one who, even maybe when the team wasn't getting the results they wanted, he's been really strong probably the last 2 months or so. What have you made of that for a player only second or third year and playing at that level consistently?
It's great to have a couple of young fellas having such a big impact, and we mentioned Caden over the last couple of weeks has come into the team and given us some real energy too. And Robbo's been there for most of the year. He had a bit of a flat spot in the middle of the year when he had a sore shoulder, and we had to give him a rest. This year, I think it was the first time he's ever played half-back, and we threw him there in the pre-season, and he picked it up like that. And he's very smart. He's a competitor. He's very smart. He knows what's going on, and he's been terrific. We've made some subtle changes over the course of the year, and he's been able to allow Ollie and Lloydie up onto the wings at different times, and we've sort of rotated some different spots and given some different looks different times, and hopefully that holds us in good stead for what's in front of us.
What does the bye week look like for the team? Obviously, like after Port, you gave the boys a few days off. Is that going to be something similar for this bye week?
Yeah, I think it's important. We'll give them just a couple of days, but it's nothing unusual. We'll just give them a couple of days off, and then jump back into it. We obviously get a feel for who we play, and we won't know until tomorrow. But it's important to put a gap between the home and away season and the final series, and that's what the bye allows you to do, and so we'll do that. All right. Thank you, Mel. Thank you very much, mate.